I used to be a people pleaser, and I mean, that was my default way of being. Everywhere I went, everything I did, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. Just about everything I did, every decision I made, it was like for the longest time, every thought that I had what revolved around what other people would think about my choices that I made, the things that I was saying. I mean, it was difficult for me to even have a conversation sometime without having so much going on in my head that was about what would the other person or people think about what I'm saying, and then how would I respond, how would I explain myself, how would I justify what I'm saying, how would I bolster the facts that I'm laying out, I mean, talk about exhausting. But it took me a very long time to actually realize just how much my life was wrapped up in what other people thought about me. And I remember years ago when I first just started to realize what was happening in my mind and in my body, of course. This was years ago. I was driving through, I was stopped to go through a drive-through window at a fast food restaurant, and I pulled up. I go to pull up, and I turned my music down so I could, give my order to the person taking the order at the window. And then I'm in line after I put in my order, roll the window up, and I'm in line to, or actually, this is actually part of the story because I left the window down, and I was in line to go to the window to get my order, so it was going to take a minute or two. And while I was there, I was parked at the little speaker intercom area where you put in your order. So I was parked there waiting to move forward, and I went to go turn my radio up, listening to the music that I was listening to before I stopped. And I paused, and I just barely turned the music up, and I wouldn't turn it up any louder because I didn't want the person inside that had taken my order to hear the music that I was listening to, because I didn't want them, I felt like they would judge me for the music I was listening to. And I have no clue what the song was that I was listening to in that moment. But whatever it was, I didn't want this person that I couldn't see, I didn't know, didn't, probably 99.9% chance they didn't know me, I didn't know them, was probably just some random kid working the drive-through window at a fast food restaurant. But I was concerned that that person was going to judge me for the music that I was listening to. And I caught myself in that moment doing that, and yet I still kept it turned down. It was like it's almost like I was powerless to that fear in that moment, even though I recognized it in that moment, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't run the risk of being judged for that in that moment. Looking back, it sounds cuckoo, like, what? But that is just one of countless examples of some of the behaviors that I was involved in, some of the thinking that I had, some of the ridiculous amounts of fears that I dealt with surrounding what people thought of me. And man, it has, that may very well be my biggest work, is getting liberated from the being just completely under what everybody else thinks, being completely trapped in that and by that, the tyranny of other people's thoughts and opinions. And oftentimes, I've realized over the years through this evolution that so many people are not thinking of me and putting too much thought into what I'm thinking and doing. And then second, when the more I'm living from my true self, the more I realize that it doesn't matter what they think of me, what their opinion is of me. It doesn't matter if they're judging me for the music that I am listening to. So what? I mean, oh man, it is. It's funny to look on it back on it now, but having lived through it, I know what it's like to be in that place of being constantly, chronically trapped under that massive weight of what other people think. And I gotta tell you, after all the work that I've done, now I am still a work in progress. After all of the things I've done in me to really let go of so much of that and be liberated from that, it has made a profound change in my life to be able to live my life without fear and regard for what other people think. And if they're judging me for what I listen to, then so be it. And I still, to this day, when I get on the dance floor and I go to dance, it is very much on my mind what other people are thinking of me while I'm on the dance floor and doing whatever I'm doing on the dance floor. Like it is in my awareness, so thick while I'm dancing. And I really just want to enjoy myself. I really just want to have a good time and not care at all what anyone is thinking about me on the dance floor. But I'm not there yet. Difference between here, one massive difference between here and back then, when I was under so much of that, is now when I recognize these fears come up, I allow it and I give myself the grace and I say, it's okay. It's okay for me to feel this. It's okay for me to be, caught up in what are other people thinking while I'm on the dance floor. It's okay. I'm being liberated from that. I'm being freed, and I've realized so much freedom in so many areas of my life that I just shrug my shoulders and I say, so be it. All right. It is what it is. So, there you go. Enjoying freedom on the other side of the tyranny of other people's thoughts and opinions. It can be incredibly profound. So I hope you've realized, if you've experienced any of that at all for yourself, I hope you're experiencing some beautiful freedom on the other side of that, and you're giving yourself grace and allowing the fears when they do come about other people's thoughts and opinions. So I would love to hear if you've got a comment, anything along those lines. I'd love to hear from you, because I do care what you think, but it doesn't define me, and I'm not gonna fortunately I'm in a place where I don't feel like I've got to necessarily shape or mold anything I say to justify myself at all. I'm just showing up, and just as you are. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you.